What is your American dream?
My American dream is that everybody be optimistic. I think things are going to work out well. If we could all just make the world better by 0.00001, I think you're doing a good job.
My American dream is to enjoy this inclusiveness and freedom of America and have fun while it lasts.
My American dreams come true when I visited for a short study trip. I'm really impressed by the values and culture of the United States.
My American dream is for America to get its act together so that the spot where we're standing is not underwater in 10, 15 years.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam!
Brad! Heck, Sam! You scare me every day. What's wrong with you?
I told you I'm a little squirrely.
You are very.
I know.
Don't hide under desks anymore.
I'm just climbing up. I don't have very long legs if you haven't noticed.
What do you got here, Sam?
All right, that's for you.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't need a headband.
No, Brad, I was watching the show yesterday, and I gotta tell you,
What?
you seemed like you were very impressed and a bit flustered with those brothers who are friends with Jussie Smollett, who are the bodybuilders. It looked like you wanted to look like them, and that's going to take some work. And I'm going to be your trainer. So put that sweatband on, and let's get to work, Brad. Office workout, very important.
But Jonathan invited me to the gym, and me and Yo-Yo are going to go there. We're going to work out, and he knows what he's doing. So I don't need you.
Well, first of all, so do I. I know what I'm doing, too.
You don't know anything about working out.
These are exercises that you can do while you're in the office. We're going to have you with a six-pack. By June, you'll be ready for the beach. You're gonna look so good. And let me tell you something. If you go to the gym right now with Jonathan, he's gonna show you up and you're gonna be all embarrassed. I'm gonna get you in shape before you get to the gym to get in better shape. There.
Good idea, Sam.
Okay, so here you go. Put this on. Ooh, very nice blue, your color. Like it.
Okay.
Here,
Sam.
Brad, first of all, reams of paper. You're gonna lift these. Oh.
Sam, the only one getting the workout is you. Here, I'll take this.
Lift it, Brad.
1, 2, 3.
5.
Oh, Sam, this is ridiculous, lifting paper.
7, 8, 9.
Sam, I'm not even breaking a sweat. This is silly, Sam. Come on, give me the next exercise, Sam.
Okay, the next one is you're going to do some cardio. You're going to push me around in a chair.
What? I'm pushing you around in a chair?
Got the rolly chair. Brad, here you go. What's going to happen is you're going to put me in the chair, extra weight.
No, come on.
Yep, and then you're going to do
Sam, is everybody listening to
the
No.
social media room. But please start out slowly. I don't want you to pull anything.
Oh, come on, Sam.
That's
ridiculous.
Wow.
All right, let's do this quickly.
Hey, Brad, go. Fast, but not too fast. Whee! Do you feel the burn now, Bernstein? Whee! Oh, I'm dizzy. All right, Brad, you're doing great. Just one more exercise. Crunches. Please get on your back. One more special piece of equipment. Julian, bring me the head of Groundhog Sam.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Yep,
it's your medicine ball.
You want me to...
1, 2.
How many of these I have to do?
Great job. Great job.
Attach.
Oh, can't see, Brad.
That was really great, Sam. I feel great. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. You got the endorphins going. It's awesome.
I got to get back to work. Okay. Tell everybody what we missed on last night's show.
Sure, Brad. Hello, everybody. Happy Hump Day, Brad Squad. Well, I've got a treat for you because Brad's really getting in shape and he's going to be so buff on the show for today's Hump Day. Did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Jonathan went back out on the streets for another gratified marriage, and it was hilarious. He met this wonderful couple from Argentina. They've been married for over 20 episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Jonathan went back out on the streets for another gratified marriage, and it was hilarious. He met this wonderful couple from Argentina. They've been married for over 20
All right, so I got my workout in, Yo-Yo.
Yeah,
we got a little audio problem there at the end, but Julian, the TriCaster guy, coming through as always.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. We had a little funny end at the end part, but we missed it. But maybe if we get it, maybe we'll play it again.
Ooh.
Yeah, because Belgium Kim says she wants to see me exercise again.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was impressive, right?
You weren't even breaking a sweat.
Well, you know, it was just reams of paper, and I had to run 3 steps and do about 4 sit-ups. I don't really think that's a break in sweat. With the head of Groundhog Sam.
Yeah, right.
So, are you saying that Groundhog Sam is not a good personal trainer?
I am saying that Groundhog Sam is not a good personal trainer.
That's exactly what he said.
Right, that is exactly what I'm saying. But how you guys doing? Everything good?
Everything is copacetic.
Copacetic. Multiple syllable word there, Yo-Yo.
I'm going to go in that case with bombastic.
Wow.
Whoa.
Absolutely bombastic.
Well, I think everything is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious for me.
Not bad.
Yes. So I got to say hello to Tamika Nelson, who's saying hi to Christy, not me, but hi Tamika anyway. Wendy Brown is saying hello to Jessica Leamy. Nobody's saying hello to us yet. Dionne Watson also saying hello to Christy. Christy saying hello to Tamika, Carol, Cordella. She forgot Dionne completely.
Wow.
Cordella saying hi to Christy and Pauline. Natalie's just saying hello to everybody. You know what? Nobody says hello to us anymore. They're just in their own world.
Listen, it's the squad.
That's right. Hello, squad. Wendy, Cece, Christy, Tamika, how are you? Dawn, Natalie, Pauline, Natalie Nichols, Pauline Williams, Wendy Brown finally, and Pauline Williams finally saying hello. Brad, Yo-Yo, best lawyer in the world.
Yes.
Blessings. Aretha Lockhart Johnson says, yeah, big up to the fabulous squad. That's right. Wendy Brown, First Lady Hewitt, has a question, but we're going to get to that a little later on. Cordella Douglas, how are you? Dawn Harriet, I think I said hello. Willie Williams, Unique, Terry Unique, saying hello. And who else we got here? Dorette Morris. And Javel, Princess Tenko back. And Khalif Oro. Is he new, Khalif?
Khalif?
I mean, he came in saying hello. I think he is pretty
He's saying hello. You say, squat up, Khalif. Squat up. Let's get the lingo going. Elsa Leslie says, squat up, family, and on YouTube. Shanique Meyer, Ja Love saying hello to everybody. Bevan Smith. Tanika Halo Bavel. I hope that's not the police coming for me.
Oof.
But that sounds like fire trucks in our soundproof studio here at 225 Broadway. Hope the building's not on fire. Carol the Tiger Cat, Carol the Top Cat Tigers 2 Anderson, and Rodrigo Silva, Marcine Frazier. How are you? Who else we got here? Anita Martinez has a question, which we'll get to in a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Hump Day. If our building is on fire, we're going to get through Hump Day, whether there's flames going around or not.
It's on fire because the news is so hot.
Maybe. Ow! I can't even touch it right now.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Yannick Yo-Yo Elias and Belgium Kid, while I get ready to go into our schmooze, tell everybody what they can be doing to help us, help them, help their friends.
Absolutely, Brad. Oh, wait, do you want to do this? So
Sure. Yeah, so I don't have to say that. All right, guys, what you guys have to do on Facebook, please share. We love that you guys share to your friends and family on their pages and also in the groups. But what we really want you guys to do is share in an inbox. So go in your inbox, make a group. You can share it, send it out as a whole blast, so you could just do one click, all right? So it's that little arrow that says share, just do that. But then we also want you guys to interact. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Of course, it is Hump Day, so we will be talking about some hot topics, and we want to know exactly what you guys feel. So like, love, laugh, wow, sad face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, let us know. And also subscribe so you can know when we're coming on, just in case we do a pop-up. And what are we going to do on YouTube, Kim?
And on YouTube, you're going to do exactly what that little graphic is showing you. You're going to hit the subscribe button and that little bell beside it so you know whenever we go live. You're also going to copy that link. You're going to hit that share button below the video, and you're going to copy that link and send it in WhatsApp messages, into different groups, through a text message. However you communicate with all the people you know that need immigration advice, you're going to send them that link. And make sure to drop everything you're thinking and feeling in the comments because we want to hear from you. And to everybody who's got a social media question based on immigration, you need to make sure to ask it right now because we ask them first come, first serve. I am tripping over my words. So thank God it's time for Schmoozing with Brad.
Hey, Schmoozing with Brad. Our Hump Day special. So we got to get through our schmooze fast.
Yep.
Because everybody just really wants the Hump Day stuff, right? So meanwhile, the first shoe has dropped with this transfer of $1 billion from a Pentagon budget to Donald Trump's wall. Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan announced Monday.
Yep.
He is the cabinet member, Secretary of Defense. He works for Donald Trump. And he announced on Monday that the Department of Defense has shifted $1 billion from other military construction projects to build the barrier wall on the southern border. So $1 billion has been appropriated, many believe illegally, by Donald Trump by calling this emergency at the border. Now, Democratic Representative Adam Smith, who is the committee chairman, he is the committee chairman for the Department of Defense in the House of Representatives. He says he wrote a letter to the Department of Defense and saying that was not authorized by Congress. Congress has the power of the purse, not the president.
Right.
Congress decides who spends the money and how they spend the money. The president just enforces the laws. That is the separation of powers.
Yep.
So Adam Smith said that the committee denies this request. I'm quoting him. The committee does not approve the proposed use of the Department of Defense funds to construct additional physical barriers and roads or instill lighting in the vicinity of the United States border. So what this really does is this begins the lawsuit portion of all of this, because now they wrote a letter saying that you are not allowed to do this, and the Department of Defense is going to do it, which will then cause this committee or people acting on behalf of the committee to bring a lawsuit against Trump saying what you're doing is illegal. So it's all the dance to get to the lawsuit now. Shanahan, the Department of Defense, says it was a very difficult decision. We understand the significant downsides of losing what amounts to a privilege. Changing decades of reprogramming practice is going to have difficult consequences for the whole government, but especially the Department of Defense. So we'll see what happens there. But basically, this is like the first salvo in the whole litigation process. It's like when you get into a car accident, you write the insurance company, you injured me, please pay.
Right.
And then they say, no, we're not going to pay, and then you start a lawsuit.
Right.
Same exact thing.
Right. But
you have to establish that there's a wrong somewhere.
Do you think that the lawsuit is going to go anywhere?
I think they're going to bring it in the Ninth Circuit. Hopefully they can bring it in the Ninth Circuit because California's on the border, and hopefully some of that money is being going to be affecting California. It could definitely be brought in Texas. They'll have a harder time in Texas than in California. But ultimately, I think it's going to end up in the Supreme Court. And the person who's going to decide this, John Roberts. He's the swing vote in the Supreme Court now. So it's going to be a 5-4 decision, and the decision's going to go either Roberts going one way or the other. Basically, John Roberts is deciding, well, for the most part, most of the Supreme Court decisions now. He's the swing vote. He's the chief judge of the Supreme Court. He was actually appointed by W.
It's terrifying. But Roberts is mostly conservative, but he's kind of up in the air every once in a while, right?
He came as a conservative, but since the last few years, he's kind of modified his views. He's been more centrist. He's really a centrist now, not a starch conservative like a Clarence Thomas.
Right, where you know
what you're getting with him.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so Roberts is more centrist, and some cases he goes liberal, some cases he goes conservative.
Right.
So I think ultimately John Roberts is going to decide the border wall. And he's actually one of the most powerful men in America.
I was just about to say.
If you think about it, because you have 4 justices who you know are going to vote all liberal.
Right.
And you have 4 justices who are all going to vote conservative. And you have this one guy in the middle who flip-flops back and forth.
Right. So it's just based off of him.
Yeah, he's a very powerful man. And he's also the chief judge, too.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the Supreme Court to hear a case, that has to be the majority of the justices who agree to hear it, right?
Correct.
So he's not only the swing vote on decisions, but he also ends up being the swing vote on cases that come before the Supreme Court at all.
That is
Wow.
correct.
That is
correct.
a whole lot of power for one man to have.
That is.
An endless term.
That is. So Betsy DeVos, she is the Secretary of Education. We've said shame on her many times. She wants to basically gut the Department of Education, have no funding for the Department of Education, give no money to education whatsoever.
Right.
She's a billionaire. What the hell does she care?
Right.
Her kids,
Right.
she can pay for her kids to go to school, but there's lots of kids who can't afford to pay for school. So what has she now decided to do at the Department of Education? The Department of Education gives $100 million a year to help fund the Special Olympics. The Special Olympics is the Olympics for disabled children.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what is she doing? She's ending that completely. No more Special Olympics. Betsy DeVos ending the $100 million grant for the Special Olympics.
Why?
Yes. And she was torn into by the Democrats on the House Appropriations Committee this week when she came to testify why she was ending the grant for $100 million to the Special Olympics. She says that the Special Olympic cuts were enacted because more than 10% of the organization's revenue comes from the Department of Education, the U.S. government. Representative Mark Pocan asked DeVos how many kids would be affected by the proposed Special Olympics cut. Let's watch the video.
Do you know how many kids are going to be affected by that cut, Madam Secretary? But the budget.
I don't know the number of kids.
It's 272,000 kids. That's all. Okay, I'll answer it for you. That's okay. No problem.
272,000 Special Olympic children
that are going to be affected.
Going to be affected by this. So she's a billionaire.
Right.
She doesn't give
she don't care.
two cares in the world.
Of course not.
Okay. She says, well, I like the Special Olympics because I donated it to them. Big deal.
That's
all right. Who cares?
Right.
What do you care? You donated. I donated $100. You donated whatever you donated to them. Who cares?
I hate when people say stuff like that.
You just took $100 million away.
That reminds me of like when people say, "Oh, I'm not racist. I have black friends." Like that's what it reminds me of. It's
exactly.
Like what?
Is.
No,
right.
just because.
That's
exactly what it is. It's like, no, you're canceling that whole thing that that was like what? That's the only thing they have.
So her claim is that the Special Olympics is not a federal. This is what her claim is. Her claim is that the Special Olympics is not a federal program. It's a private organization. She says, I love its work, and I've personally supported its mission. I have a black friend, too.
Right, exactly.
Okay? Because of its important work, it is able to raise more than $100 million every year. There are dozens of worthy nonprofits that support students and adults with disabilities that don't get a dime of federal grant money. So what? So what? Just because the federal government doesn't donate to every charity in the world that helps a disabled child means that you have to gut $100 million. What is $100 million anyway to the federal government? It's nothing.
That's
and you're
nothing.
taking $1 billion from the Pentagon to go build a goddamn wall, but you can't give $100 million for Special Olympics.
That's
and just so you say, oh, because we don't give to every charity in the world that helps disabled children, that's why we're not going to give to this one. I wish I had the bullshit buzzer.
Yes.
Because I would call bullshit every time on that.
100%.
Meanwhile, Liz Flank at Feminine Stabulous on Twitter says to Nancy DeVos, because I'm not even calling it bullshit. Lots of people are.
Right.
Let's hear what some other people have to say. Did you decide to strip all the funding and dignity from these athletes before or after you used them as literal props when you donated the money?
Right, because she was taking pictures with Special Olympic athletes like a year ago.
Exactly. Brian Santamaria at Brian Santamaria on Twitter says, simply, you hurt people, your life hurts people.
Yes.
And he should have added, you suck. But he didn't add
100%.
that. Okay. And finally, Eri TMHL says, you are a horrible person and you should feel bad for targeting disabled programs for budget cuts. These kids need more support, not less. How dare you call yourself a Christian? Matthew 25:40 should be tattooed across your forehead so you can see it every time you look in the mirror. And at Jilly Bean, if there is such a Twitter feed, at Jilly Bean, says you, I can't even say it,
Right.
but she called her a very bad name.
Yes.
But I would not dare say it.
No.
Such a bad name, I can't even say it.
We say that we do not say those words on the air.
We do not say those words.
BTS.
Not
behind
yes.
the scenes.
Yeah.
It was a bad word.
It was a bad word.
Almost as bad as Bumbleclot, or whatever that is. Okay. Remember that?
Yeah.
From radio days?
Yes, our
Jamaican friend, our Jamaican, that's right. They know it. It's as bad as that.
It is.
And I don't know if I pronounced it right. All right.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
we're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
Right. They're about to tell you.
We're a little delayed.
About to tell you.
Yeah.
We need about 10 more seconds, and I'm sure we'll know real quick.
So anyway, the 8-year-old Nigerian who won the New York State Chess Championship, we had some good news. He was in a shelter with his parents.
Oh yes.
Well, his name is Tua Adewumi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. His family moved from New York City from Nigeria as refugees 2 years ago, and he had won the New York State Chess Championship. Well, after Tanny's win made headlines, it was found out that he was living in a shelter. So by Tuesday, there was a GoFundMe page that was started by his chess coach Russell Makovsky. And by Tuesday evening, the page raised more than $180,000 to get the family out of the shelter and into an apartment in Manhattan.
Wow.
And his mom, Oluwatoyin Adewumi, said, "Thank you to the United States of America for being supportive."
Wow.
His parents told NBC's Today Show that they feared attacks by the terror group Boko Haram and were seeking religious asylum here in the United States from persecution.
Wow.
Tanny says he hopes that one day he is going to become the youngest chess master.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that story.
That is living the American dream.
That is living the dream. That is living the dream.
Meanwhile, in our comments, people are saying that you are right, and not only are you right, Brad, you're Jamaican.
They're actually petitioning to get you Jamaican citizenship.
To get me Jamaican citizenship? To get me Jamaican citizenship?
Yeah, they said, Brad, you need to get a Jamaican citizenship.
Meanwhile, this thing isn't working, so I apologize. I can't see my YouTube comments. They just fell off my page. So they fell off my page. Kim, while I'm talking, can you get YouTube up there on this? Meanwhile, yesterday, some poor people, they weren't poor people, they bought a plane ticket on an airplane, so I can't call them poor, they were able to buy a plane ticket. I say poor meaning that they were sad.
Sad.
Unfortunate.
Right.
Unfortunate. I don't mean poor as in financially poor.
Okay.
Right.
Unfortunate situation happened. They were on British Airways. And by the way, everybody's safe. So let's start with everybody's safe.
Okay.
Was this in the UK?
This was, yes, it was in the UK. Okay, and they were taking a flight that started in I don't know where it started, in Düsseldorf, Germany.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. It started. I'm not sure where it started, but it was supposed to go to Düsseldorf, Germany.
Gotcha.
Okay, started somewhere in Europe.
The world.
Okay.
In the world.
Right.
And these people got on the plane, and they were supposed to go to Düsseldorf, Germany, on a very pleasant 2-hour flight.
Okay.
That was supposed to go over some water.
Right.
Okay. Sometime in the middle of the flight, some people started noticing there's no water, but they happen to be going over some mountains. But they say, I don't know, maybe this pilot knows where he's going. Well, apparently the flight mistakenly landed in Edinburgh, Scotland, instead of Düsseldorf, Germany. And Edinburgh, Scotland, instead of Düsseldorf, Germany. Now you would say, it was from London. Yeah. They were taking off from London, and they went to Edinburgh, Scotland, instead of Düsseldorf, Germany. Now, generally, this was an early morning flight, first thing. Now, generally, you would get in the plane and the pilot would say, "Good morning, everybody.
Right.
Our flight from London to Düsseldorf will take us 1 hour, and we anticipate some pleasant skies, and please keep your seatbelt on for safety.
Right.
And I'll let you know when we're going to be landing
Right.
in Dusseldorf.
Right.
But for some unbeknown reason,
Yeah.
the pilot never mentioned where he was going, never said hello to anybody, so nobody in the plane knew that they were flying in the wrong direction, other than they look out the window and they say, wait a second, this doesn't look like the route to Dusseldorf, Germany.
That's insane.
So now you would think the pilot's insane, and the pilot went crazy and is trying to F everybody up, right?
I'd be scared.
But the pilot followed directions. That British Airways told him to fly to Edinburgh instead of Dusseldorf. It was British Airways that screwed up. According to the airline, the German company that chartered the plane, WDL Aviation, submitted... Oh, it was not British Airways. It was WDL Aviation who chartered the plane from British Airways. They submitted the wrong route to air traffic controllers. So the pilot, they don't know anything. They get to the airport and they're told where to fly.
Right.
So they get in the plane and they're told fly to Edinburgh, Scotland. So everybody gets in the plane thinking they're going to Dusseldorf, and all of a sudden they fly to Edinburgh, Scotland.
insane.
But somebody should have known if the pilot gets on this loudspeaker and says, welcome everybody, it's going to be -10 in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Right.
And you see like, holy shit, I'm going up on the wrong plane.
Well, the only thing I can think is that because it was a chartered plane, you didn't have the formalities that you have on a typical plane. Like, hello, everybody. The temperature and the time and your destination.
So wait.
Exactly.
Could they have, like, it seems like they could have actually ran into another plane, though, right? Because if
No,
they were on
because
schedule,
the route was done by the computer.
Right.
And it was already done the night before.
So it made sure that
everything was safe.
was safe.
The only thing effed up
was
is that they went to the wrong city and everybody on the plane thought they were going to Dusseldorf.
So who lost their job?
I don't know. It's the craziest story I've ever heard in my
somebody
life.
lost their job for that.
So WDL Aviation said, as pleasant as Edinburgh is this time of year, we're sorry that passengers traveling to Dusseldorf on British Air 3271 operated, they had to make sure it was operated by WDL Aviation, initially landed in the Scottish capital rather than their intended destination. This was due to an incorrect flight plan. In a statement to the New York Times, WDL said that they were working closely with the authorities to investigate how the obviously unfortunate mix-up of flight schedules could occur. It's not the pilot's fault.
Right.
The pilot got on the plane and went to the place he was told to go to.
He was supposed to go.
But, I mean, I don't understand why the pilot doesn't get on and say, welcome, everybody. It's -10 in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's basic courtesy.
Yes. So, meanwhile, another European discount, because these are all discount airlines, so you can only imagine, you know, Ryanair. They issued a cheeky response to the mishap. I flew on Ryanair before.
Yeah, me too. I love Ryanair.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully they get me to the right spot, though. They issued a cheeky response to the mishap on Twitter with a picture of Geography for Dummies captioned, hey, at British Airways, we have a present for you.
That's real petty, and I like it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
So meanwhile, it's Hump Day today, and you know what that means. I've got some Hump Day news and something we like to call It's Hump Day.
Woo.
Meanwhile,
it's Hump Day.
Where's our camel?
It's Hump Day.
What happened to our camel?
He was just there. I saw him earlier.
Probably humping.
He's humping.
It's
there he goes. There he goes. Meanwhile, on Hump Day, I was.
It's Hump Day.
I was filming, and you're going to see this next week. I filmed something with Aberdeen for Aberdeen Sues the Government next week about mandamus, which we'll have ready for you next week.
Yes.
But what interesting about Hump Day was that Jill was miking me up for the pre-tape for Aberdeen Sues the Government. We just did this right before we came on the show, while you guys were getting yourself all primped and proper.
Right.
And she goes and she grabs my nipple, and she twists it. And she goes, purple nurple, it's Hump Day. I go, what?
Yeah, right.
I swear, Jill, did that happen?
That's the fakest news I've ever heard.
Jill, did you grab my nipple, Jill? It kind of happened. It kind of happened. She said, yes, but she didn't say purple nurple. She did it by accident. She did it by accident, but I said, did Jill just give me a purple nurple for Hump Day?
So, by it kind of happened, you mean she in no way intentionally grabbed your nipple?
She did not.
Grazed your nipple unintentionally.
No. What happened was that the wire got stuck in my shirt. So she went to grab the wire. She missed the wire, grabbed my nipple, and pulled. And I go, did you just give nervous on Hump Day?
The fact that she tagged that, it means yes. It's a yes.
That is hilarious.
So that's our first Hump Day news of the day.
Wow. Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses.
There's not a single image
That's
for that
right.
one. You guys are just going to have to use your
We're
imagination.
making our own Hump Day
Yeah,
news.
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, so hopefully Paul's not watching. We don't want him to get... So meanwhile, that Paul, by the way, is Jill's husband.
Right.
So it was completely innocent, Paul. So meanwhile...
Or was it?
Yeah, no, it was. So meanwhile, I don't even know what this means. Who wrote these Hump Day news?
I have no idea what you're talking
You have
about.
no
Brad.
idea? Okay,
No
so the
one I
title
know.
to this Hump Day
I know.
news, we're going to figure it out now.
Yeah.
It says, meet Dick Run Claire, the woman who draws dicks with running apps. First of all, when I read this, I'm like, I'm so happy Kim here is in the middle. There she is. She draws dicks with running apps for a little over 3 years now. Claire has been running the streets in the shape of dicks.
That
The
is
30. What is wrong with this woman? The 33-year-old New Jerseyan says it started as an accident on Thanksgiving 2015 when she visited her brother in Kansas City and she went for a run and she got lost. Claire eventually found her way back, tracing a roundabout route through the streets of the cities, but looked back at her GPS tracker and she noticed something. She noticed that the route that she took was the form of a perfectly sized, erect dick.
Yes,
Now,
queen.
Claire's Instagram page is rife with dicks of various shapes and sizes: long dicks, short dicks, fat dicks, skinny dicks. Some of them have been detailed with veins or wrinkly balls or hand wrapped around the shaft, but they all have something in common. It's a geographic running route that she took.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Now, Claire seems to have this sexual fantasy. She says, I just love looking at dick routes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, queen.
She just loves looking at dick routes.
Who doesn't?
So she goes, I feel like I should be on my strange addiction now that I've heard how that sounds. But honestly, I just love running. It's my favorite way to get a work in. And drawing a giant dick across town is just really an extra bonus.
I can't. You know what, though?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's great motivation to finish your route, though.
Yes,
like, because I hate cardio.
Yeah.
But in order for me to finish, like I have to have an end goal, and I think that's an end goal for her. It's like I can't stop until the shaft is done. Like, you know, like, the ball doesn't cut enough.
I mean, is it like a situation where you're like, you know what? I gotta train for a marathon. I'm gonna run Yo-Yo's dick today. I'm marathon training.
Yes.
I mean, how does that work? How does that work?
My God.
So she says, I always plan out the dick runs and follow the route I've saved on my phone. It's actually kind of tough, especially the more detailed routes like the ones with hands.
That's hilarious.
Come on, I can't even.
I love it.
Shout out to Pauline Williams who just said #therapy.
Exactly. Now she claims, okay, so we got to the biggest dick run. That was, you know.
Okay.
All right, so she claims her biggest dick run of all time clocked in at a whopping 14 miles somewhere in Vermont while she was training for a marathon.
Funny.
Yes, and now she's trying to get one in each. She's trying to get a dick in all 50 states. That's her goal.
Wow.
That is her goal.
Listen,
Kim, is
if
that
she
your
could
goal as well, to get a dick in all 50 states? Kim, what is your goal?
100%.
Everybody has a goal, Kim.
I would like a twat trot.
Really?
In every single
Oh, come on,
state.
that's really gross.
Boom, the twat trot.
Did she do that?
She did a
sure
twat
did.
trot, Joe?
She did a twat trot
Oh,
as
my
well.
God.
And I would like to be team twat trot across all 50 states in this land of ours.
Oh, my
I
God.
can't.
I can't even. Meanwhile,
I'm not sorry.
Meanwhile, in Moscow, okay, we think this would happen in London, but it's happening in Moscow.
Okay.
A traveler passing through Moscow's Domodedovo Airport, that's in Moscow. I was actually there. Reportedly claimed to be more aerodynamic while nude, so he stripped while trying to get on a plane. The man, identified as a Moscow area resident born in 1981, had made his way through security completely with clothes on before getting naked sometime ahead of the boarding gate. He shouted that he was naked because clothing impairs the aerodynamics of the body. He flies with more agility when undressed. Now, footage showed on Russian network appears to show the nude man waiting in line to board the plane. Now, airport employees reportedly intercepted the man before he was able to board. He said, "Don't worry, we have 2 wings and a tail. We don't need any more edifices to fly this plane than already there." And we have a video. It's the naked man. Now, nobody is paying attention to this guy.
Oh, and he's like...
Nobody's paying attention to him. Did you just see that, Yo-Yo?
I did.
Did you just see that, Yo-Yo, or were you pouring your coffee? Can we play that?
I saw it. Nobody's paying
attention to him.
But that's in Europe, though, right?
No, that's in Moscow.
Oh.
That's
well,
in
it's
Moscow.
not in America.
That's still Europe. Moscow's,
right, that's still Europe.
Actually,
right.
Moscow and St. Petersburg, Russia straddles both Europe and Asia.
In Asia?
So Moscow and St. Petersburg is considered European. But as you get into like the Siberian areas and the areas closer to China, then they're in Asia. So they actually straddle 2 continents.
I just don't understand why nobody's like fazed by a naked man. Did you see his knees? His knees were nasty looking.
His knees?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, because he just, you want to know why? Because
Why?
he just got tackled by 10 Russian agents. He has handcuffs on. And you know what he said after he got tackled and got handcuffed by Russian agents?
What?
He goes, "Made my day."
What?
Yes! That's what he wanted. He wanted to be handcuffed naked and be tackled by Russian agents. In an airport.
I can't.
He was totally excited about that.
Did he think he was going to get on the plane,
I don't know.
you think?
I don't know.
Do you think that he may be Yocket, Brad? Is he one of your brethren?
No, he's
That's
not
something
Yocket.
that y'all like to do?
No. I've never been on a plane naked in my life.
Really?
No.
Well, you haven't lived.
I haven't lived. Why? Have you been in the Mile High Club, Yo-Yo?
Huh?
Have you ever joined the Mile High Club?
No, I haven't.
Belgium Kim, have you ever joined the Mile High Club?
Not yet.
Oh, it looked like you were about to say yes. I'm about to
Belgium
say
Kim,
yes.
have you ever asked a pilot to fly the dick route? Have you ever asked a pilot, excuse me, can you fly in the route of a dick?
No, but I'm literally getting back on a plane in like 3 weeks, and I will absolutely be like, here's a little gift bag, special request, fly in the shape of a dick.
Meanwhile, you like the Spice Girls, right?
Oh,
Ooh,
I
do.
love the Spice Girls.
Well, Mel B, who's always been
Scary Spice.
She's always been out as bisexual.
Right.
Yes.
She said that her and Mel C, Sporty Spice, they did it.
What?
No? Yeah.
Ginger.
Ginger Spice did it.
Ginger Spice.
So I thought, okay.
Jerry Halliwell.
Yes, it was Ginger Spice.
Yeah.
Ginger and Scary, they did it.
When?
Yeah, they did.
During
Yes.
like the group
During
time?
the group time, yes. According to USA Today, they spoke about flurried activity, claiming that Mel B tried to call Halliwell to smooth things over in case there were any problems. Halliwell has yet to comment publicly on Mel B's revelation, but E! Entertainment News noted that she previously told Howard Stern about a twist with a famous woman, but didn't divulge her name. Yeah, she said she was drunk and realized after she was not a lesbian.
Now,
So Ginger didn't enjoy it.
So
and Scary did.
every male fantasy, by the way, was, I wonder if any of the Spice Girls ever made it. Right?
I gotta be honest.
Right? Every guy's
And they're
fantasy,
fine.
right?
They were fine
Me
before.
as
they're
a
fine now.
13-year-old wanted them to get together. I was so happy. This was the
Wow.
fulfillment of every teenage girl fantasy I ever
So
had.
why she spilled the tea? Like, what are they coming out with?
They're coming out
with the tour.
right. So
There
they
you go.
needed a little
That's
publicity.
why.
But
there was no
That's
reason
smart.
for it, right? They needed a little publicity.
We
That
have
is
video
amazing.
of this, and it does not seem like she meant to do this.
No,
Oh, yeah, I
they
think
definitely
she
meant
did.
to do
She
it.
definitely did.
The best publicity is when it's not
I
meant to
want to
be.
see the video. I definitely want to see the video.
Meanwhile, the video of them doing it or the video of her saying it?
No, of her saying it.
Oh, I thought you wanted like the sex tape to come out.
Well, that too, if you got it.
Meanwhile,
wait.
Oh, here's the video.
She's gonna hate me for this because she's all posh in a country house with her husband.
I didn't hear what she
I
said.
didn't hear the beginning
Yeah, I
part.
didn't hear the beginning part either.
He says, so did you do it? And all she does is like,
Maybe.
and she nods. Like she very clearly nods. And Mel C was in the audience, and she was like,
right,
what
the one
is
that
happening?
the one that everybody just assumed was gay because she was sporty.
Because she's a sporty spice.
Yeah.
That's not true. She gave us the graduation bop of the century.
Meanwhile, now they're coming out with the male birth control pill.
Oh, yes!
Yes, in the last 2 months, some 400 couples in 9 cities have been the test subjects of male birth control. What it is it's a gel containing testosterone and progestin, a hormonal composite that suppresses the body's natural production of sperm. Ooh. It's one of the largest investigations into hormonal male contraception ever. The gel is more than a decade in the making. If it comes to market, it will be the first hormonal contraceptive for men more than a half a century after the first birth control pill was approved for women. Although researchers have spent decades trying to perform male birth control, the battle isn't won. The gel is called NEST, but it looks very promising. I guess it goes on your penis.
I think you just rub it on your skin.
You just rub it on your skin.
Yeah.
I would think this thing is going to cause cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think that thing's going to cause cancer?
Very sketch to me.
Y'all.
And wait, it's
you're
giving
like,
you
you're
more
like, that can't be,
testosterone?
and then you'll be like, that can't be my baby. I would just rub some gel on my body, right? I mean,
you guys, women have been taking the exact same type of hormones for 60 years, shutting down our baby makers.
Women's bodies are different than men's.
You're right.
And men are
Much
big,
more
and men are
complicated.
huge babies when it comes to getting sick. Men are much bigger babies when it comes to getting sick than women.
Y'all, we're talking about having to rub your shoulder down with a gel once a day.
But like when y'all take birth control, doesn't that like help with like PMSing and stuff like that?
Jonathan, first of all, are you gonna mansplain
I'm asking.
birth?
No, I'm asking.
No, it can. It can help.
That's what I don't know.
Certain types of birth control absolutely can help with PMS, but I feel like most women, when you're taking birth control, if you could have your partner at least have the option to pitch in, God, that would be amazing. Would you not use it really if it was FDA approved?
No. Because there's a lot of things that are FDA approved that still causes cancer.
Well,
meanwhile,
and you guys have been taking it for half a century and everything is okay.
Meanwhile, talking about penises.
Is not okay. I am not okay. Yeah, thank you. Fake news. Sorry, fake news.
Meanwhile,
yeah.
I don't know if I would do it or not. Maybe I would. I would have to learn more about it.
I feel that.
I would have to learn more about it. I would be scared I would get sick from it, but assuming it's safe, why not?
Thank you, Brad.
Why not?
Brad the woke one over here.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Why not?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because
You know why? You know why? Because
maybe
let me tell
maybe
you.
you want to
say it.
Okay.
So the woman is still going to take the birth control because deep down in your mind you're like, I ain't gonna F with this because
I don't trust it.
I don't trust it. You know what I mean? And you like at the end of the day, if they're still taking it, then why both of us take it?
Well, okay, all right. If the woman trusts you, it's like a one-night stand, you're like, yo, baby, I just rubbed some stuff on my armpit. Obviously, it's a different story because a woman has to take care of her own body.
Right.
But if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody,
yeah.
Okay, and you trust each other and you love each other, maybe you're using condoms and you say, you know what, we don't have to use condoms anymore, right?
I understand it, but I'm saying for it to be so new, deep down inside, in the back of your mind, the woman is still going to be, even the man as well, is going to be like, oof, I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it. I know that the woman is still going to take it at least for another decade or more to know that, okay, we don't have situations where a mistake happened. You know what I mean? So you're still going to be taking it. So why both of us take it?
I don't know.
Because you got to pave the way.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
All right. So meanwhile,
look, Sasha Ford said, my husband said, let me see what she said.
Dawn Harriet said most men wouldn't use it.
No, hell no. Sasha Ford said, my husband said, hell no, he has self-control. That pull-out method.
Yeah.
The pull-out method.
Self-control.
Sasha.
Listen.
Yeah, don't fall for that one.
Self-control, don't fall for that, baby.
Yeah.
Because that pre-cum.
That's a whole other discussion, right?
The pre-cum still got babies up in there.
My brother has 4 children
and
using the pull-out method.
Yes.
2 of them were on purpose.
All right. So meanwhile, apparently there's a gentleman by the name of Darren Breed. He doesn't really know what to do with his life.
Okay.
So he decided to label these 7 different types of penises there are in the world because he had nothing else to do with his life. So he is the managing director of iMedicare Ltd, a medical device company that specializes in urology treatment. And he told the Mail Online, which is a British online magazine, of course British,
right?
Of course,
because they're obsessed with penises there in Britain.
They
aren't
do
they really?
love
Don't they love their penises there in
They do
Britain?
love them some
I'm so happy you're here. We have all these penis stories in
right.
there.
And I don't feel
tell
awkward at all.
Not at all, right?
Not like the past 2 weeks.
But the British, they love everything with penises. Always happened in Britain, right?
That's true.
Yes.
So there's 7, Yo-Yo. And you can comment on which one is yours.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to see which one is mine, too. I don't know. All right, let's see what it is.
Do you need to see all the options before
I have to see all the options before I figure out which one is mine.
Okay.
All right, you ready, Yo-Yo?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to figure out which one it is. All right, all right. This one is not me. Okay? I already know this one's not me, A. All right, the pencil, which is the long and thin one with a girth at the shaft. No, I'm not the pencil.
No,
okay.
No.
Nobody's ever accused me of it's a pencil. Nobody's ever accused me of it's a pencil.
No.
You know when you get accused of a pencil? When they say, okay, baby, you can start anytime.
Oh,
you're like, baby, I'm done. You're like, baby, I'm done. What are you talking about?
8 minutes
Yeah. We started 2 commercials ago. 2 commercial breaks ago. We're 30 minutes into the programming already. We're still going, yeah. All right, so neither one of us is the pencil,
No.
right?
No.
Okay. The second one.
I can't.
All right, this is not me either. The pepper. It's shorter than average, but unusually thick, most commonly referred to as the chode.
That's hilarious.
Okay. No, I'm not the pepper. Are you the pepper?
Definitely not the
Definitely
pepper.
not the pepper. I don't know if any of these are mine. I'm gonna go through 7, and none of them are gonna be mine.
All right, let's read
All
it.
right, I'm gonna write this Darren Breed and say, dude, you forgot one. It's called the Bernstein. It's number 8.
Right.
Here's a sketch.
We're gonna have the girl run out the sketch for you.
Oh goodness.
Sam has quite the picture to draw.
The third one, third possibility of penis. It's called the cone. It gets narrower towards the tip. No, I do not have a cone. I'm gonna tell you something. Any man with the cone, I'd be like, I'd be like.
That is.
I've never even seen anybody with a cone.
I have on porn.
On porn, you've seen the cone?
Mm-hmm.
The cone.
I've never seen porn cone.
It's definitely
Really?
the one I am thus far least like. I've seen the least of. I've never.
Okay, so this one I know is Donald Trump's because this is how
God.
Stormy Daniels described it.
Ugh.
Okay, so Trump, he's got the hammer. It starts narrow at the base, but then it gets especially wide at its head. It's like a mushroom.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, I think Trump has the pepper.
I don't know.
Because it's short. She said it was short and fat.
No, but he said it was like a mushroom.
That's true.
But he has a short mushroom.
And it's orange.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Definitely the pepper.
Yeah.
That is definitely
the
his.
pepper.
All right, then there's the sausage.
Oh, that sounds.
Okay, probably
That's
what
mine.
I am, but
Yeah.
let's see.
That's I'm
Sound
the sausage.
okay. This one, it's the most common type of penis.
Does she have the most common
Yes.
penis? Brad and I.
Okay, yes. It is average thickness, average length, and remains the same size all the way up. It's
Yes.
called the standard sausage.
There you go.
I would have to say, I think I'm a standard
Yeah.
sausage. I've examined myself thoroughly many
We
times.
are the sausage.
Yes.
Correct.
Right? I've examined myself, not erect, and I have to tell you, I think I'm the sausage.
Is that why it's such a sausage fest in here?
Yes, exactly. And finally, all right, so there is no Bernstein one. They finally had one.
Nailed it
They
down.
have nailed it down. And we say nailed it down in quotes.
This one's
Finally,
probably like a
finally,
boomerang.
they have the
Curve.
cucumber.
The cucumber.
Okay, which is the same as the sausage, but it's a
Lord.
little thicker.
My goodness.
I'm not
Wait,
the, I'm
you
not the
missed
cucumber.
one.
No, that's it. The pencil, the pepper, the cone. Oh!
There it is.
Is
I
it a
forgot
curve?
one. There's one more.
It's a curve.
It's a
I
curve.
knew it.
Yeah. There's the banana. I don't have a banana. Okay, there's the banana. Okay, I forgot the banana one. The banana, that means you have a curve to the left or right.
That is assaulting my knee
Yes.
right now.
So apparently the banana is the most fun Apparently, what's going on over there?
Jonathan has been assaulting
Why?
my knee. Like he's like been
Why did
grabbing.
he just hit you in the boob or something?
He pinched my side. He's trying to tickle me.
So meanwhile, the banana. Kim, tell me if this is true or not.
Oh God.
Okay, because I'm glad you're here. Because if not, I would have asked Jonathan. Jonathan would be like, "What the hell do I know?" Right?
Okay.
So is the banana, according to these notes, the banana is the most fun sex-wise for a woman. Is that true? Can we hear from Brad Squad?
Get a picture of Kim.
Can we hear from the Brad Squad? They say the banana is the most fun because it goes up and into a curve.
I will say, depending on the curve, a curve can be a nice little addition to the situation. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna hit the crevice, not the crevice.
Sidewalls.
Jessica Leamy said that they missed one though.
What?
She said, "What about the anaconda?"
I think that's the cucumber.
That's the cucumber.
That's
the same as the sausage, but bigger and thicker.
Also,
if it's bigger than a cucumber, Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus is right.
Then you can sue your man for vaginal rejuvenation, right? Did we talk about that? Also, Pauline Williams said, "That looks like my baby." Now, I'm going to assume that she means her man has that kind of...
The cucumber?
I think it is the cucumber that she was talking about.
Okay. All right, well, go enjoy the cucumber. What can I tell you?
Listen, you better not say that in the comments and everybody start hitting your man up.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. Darren Breed, who I must remind everybody is the managing director of urology and continence treatment at iMedicare Ltd. So he's an expert at all of this.
Thank you.
Yes, Darren says none of these penises are better than the other. They could all sexually satisfy a woman. This is all just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Do you know, I kind of
Whose hand was that, by the way? Was that your hand in that picture with the
That is
cucumber?
not my hand.
It looks like your hand, Kim.
I swear it's not my
Kim,
nails
did
are
you
done.
take that picture just for this?
Just grabbing the cucumber.
grabbing the cucumber?
I would have double-handed it, Brad.
Yes?
I do want to ask our viewers, though. I really do. I would like our female viewers to let me know what their favorite one was. Because Tanisha was like, "Kim, do you see the one you like? I see the one I like."
Which is the one you like?
And I said, I already said banana.
You like the banana?
I like banana.
All right. Kim, any chance we had is now lost.
It's gone.
I did not have the banana.
You sausage men, stay
I
out
am
of
a
my
sausage.
life. No way. No way, Jose.
Jonathan, you're a
today.
sausage.
I
Any
am.
chance with Kim is gone.
It's gone.
It's done. You can stop.
Kim, have you had all 7 penises?
No.
Tell me the penises that you had, Kim.
I will absolutely not
Kim,
do that.
You had a sausage, right? Where are these penises again? Kim, you've had the sausage, right?
Yeah.
Have you had a pencil?
No.
No. Have you had the
God,
pepper?
wait,
Shorter
you're
than
not
average.
going to go
I don't
through
think
all
I
of
want to do this.
You don't want to go through all of them?
I don't want to do this.
All we know is that the banana is your favorite.
Yeah, I will stand by that. I'll stand by
right.
that. And I didn't really say that, but sure. I'll go with that.
And there you have it, folks. That's Hump Day. Thank you, Belgium Kim, for coming back.
Absolutely.
It was so uncomfortable with
So
me.
happy.
It was so uncomfortable.
There was no way we could have done that.
It was
together.
so uncomfortable. Me and Jonathan talking about penises for 30 minutes.
no way.
Jonathan was ready to put in his resignation. He said to me, "If Kim's not back, I'm resigning."
Right. I thought it was
He
a
said he's
setup.
done. All right. So while I take try to towel off here from Hump Day. All right, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do to share this as we get into our immigration section here. Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Okay, family, on Facebook, you guys are going to do a couple of things for us. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you like and follow our page and that you click that little bell to make sure that you get notifications every single time we're live. You are also going to share this, and you're going to share this as a private message in people's inboxes. You're going to share it to inbox groups, to individuals. Hit up someone you haven't talked to in a while and just be like, "Hey, this is the show for you." You can even start watch parties. You can do anything you want. Just make sure that you are telling people about the show and make sure to participate. We know you guys love Hump Day stories, but you love the calls too. You love all the questions. Tell us how you feel, whether you can relate to someone, however you want to do it, and make sure to be showing us those reactions, like, love, sad, wow, however you want to do it. And Yo-Yo, what do they do on YouTube?
Absolutely. What you guys are going to do is you're also going to share on YouTube. How you share is you just press that little button that says share. It's a little arrow just like Facebook. little arrow that says share, and you can copy the link, or you could also just share it directly to any social media platform. So what we really want you guys to do is copy that link and send it in a text blast or a WhatsApp group blast. It's better on WhatsApp just because it goes out there, the algorithms and all that, you know, tech stuff. But we want you guys to send it out regardless, send it out. And also, we love your interactions. This was a funny Hot Topics and very interesting Hump Day news. And we love to see exactly what you guys felt about it. So thank you guys for interacting on there. But please make sure you subscribe and also sign up for the notifications so you know every single time and every day that we come on, all right? Now, next, what we're going to do is a next segment where you call in, and finally, Brad is going to answer your calls with getting answers. Come on.
There we go. You're a little slow there.
Call with your immigration questions.
There we go. All right, so let's go to Peter in Los Angeles, California. Peter.
Hey,
how are you?
How you guys doing?
Good. What's going on?
So I have an interview in 400.
Right.
So I kind of have an issue.
What's the issue?
I live together with my wife, but she uses her family address for her tax returns.
All right. Are you basing your naturalization on 3 years in a bona fide marriage or 5 years?
3 years. I already have my green card.
All right, you're going to get denied. I can guarantee you will be denied. If you walk into a naturalization interview and you do not have a joint tax return with your wife, you will be denied. I've never seen, actually, in my entire career, anybody who naturalized based on a bona fide marriage of 3 years who didn't have a joint tax return with their wife for all the years that they were supposed to be married. So you can do one of two things. You can either amend your tax. I'm just being point blank with you. So you can amend your tax returns to jointly, and you got to show you and your wife live together, and then there's still going to be an issue of whether you live together or not, because now it seems that you would just be amending it just for your naturalization, but certainly amend it. But then you also have to prove it's a bona fide marriage. Or withdraw your naturalization, wait the 5 years, and refile at the 5-year mark. Then it doesn't matter where you file your taxes.
Okay, but I already got conditions taken out of my green card, though.
What? Say it again. My volume was off.
Huh?
My volume was off. I didn't hear you. Say that again.
I said I already got conditions taken out of my green card.
Congratulations. As they say in my religion, mazel tov. And I'm telling you point blank, you're not going to become a citizen if you don't have a joint tax return with your wife. And if you do become a citizen without a joint tax return, you call me back and tell me I'm wrong. That's how positive I know I'm right.
Okay.
All right.
So the options here for me is to like withdraw my application,
and withdraw it. If you're not showing up with a joint tax return to a citizenship interview based on a bona fide marriage of 3 years with your wife, you withdraw your application and refile again when you hit the 5-year mark. Then it doesn't matter where you filed your tax returns.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. It's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this long enough.
That's what you call for.
You called for my opinion, you get it. Monique in Linden, New Jersey.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you? I'm
good. What's going on?
I'm calling in reference to a family friend.
Okay.
She's been here for like a few years.
Right.
Has 2 children. I think one is 27, one is 24. She came here in somebody else's identity. She got sick, and now she wants to go back to Jamaica voluntarily. Do you think she's going to have a problem?
No, you could always leave. They're happy to let you leave. It's the coming back she'll have a problem.
And if one of the child decides to file for her, would that be a problem?
She would never get a green card through the child. A, she overstayed her time by more than a year. B, she committed misrepresentation. And there's no waiver for either one through filing by a child.
Okay.
So if she leaves, she's leaving for good.
And the child won't be able to file for her if she stay here, right?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right, okay.
All right, let's go to Samantha in the Bronx. Samantha. So far, we're 0 for 2. Maybe I can give positive news on this one. Yeah. Samantha.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, good. Hey, guys, Kim and Yanni. So I had my interview in March 2018, but the thing is that my husband and I, we had an altercation. I was the one that wrote in on the comment section yesterday, but I think I left out an important part. that
what was your question on the comment section, Kim? Do you remember this?
It was just yesterday. My question was, since I went to the interview and we were asked about like 4 questions, but we were the immigration officer sent us home because we didn't carry the court. Well, I didn't carry the court.
Yes, I remember now. Right. Okay, I remember the question. Okay.
But the thing is that when we were scheduled for the interview, the judge had placed like a temporary restraining order. It is now up. We can now be in the same house and this area. But during the time of the interview, it wasn't up, and neither one of us knew. Because when we went,
okay, so Samantha, let me tell you what you need to do.
Yeah.
They will, if there is an order of protection or a stay away order because of a domestic violence, immigration will not interview you while that order is outstanding. Okay, so hopefully, they did not deny you, and you can write immigration with proof that that order is resolved and that you should now be able to be called in for your interview. Or if they do deny you, you're just going to have to refile again.
Okay, because we did went to the interview, but we were sent home.
I know, right, because they wouldn't interview you because you're not supposed to be in the same room together.
Okay, so now that it's the case is closed and we didn't went to trial, everything is dropped, we should write to USCIS?
Right, and write to them with the case number and say, here's proof that you need proof that, the stay away order is resolved. Please reschedule me. I think you need a lawyer at this point, though.
Yeah, because it's been a year.
Yeah, I think you need a lawyer. Hold on one second, all right?
All right. Thank you.
It's been a year. You should have called me 8 months ago. Sue in Salt Lake, Utah. Sue in Salt Lake, Utah. Sue in Salt Lake, Utah. Listen to your phone, please. All right, Sue has to listen to her phone. All right, hopefully we'll get her back in a little bit. Let's go to Sean in Newark, New Jersey. Sean.
Hello, Brad.
How are you?
Not bad at all.
What can I do to help?
I'm in a situation. My wife, we're having this fight, which it seems like it's gonna end the relationship. We were staying together, but her name is on the lease. My interview is closed, and she's saying that she's gonna leave, so I have to leave as well. What would you suggest?
I suggest you try to work things out, but if you can't work things out, it sounds like
Hello?
I would suggest you try to work things out, because you need to show up in a bona fide marriage with your wife. If you can't work things out, then you're going to be denied. Hopefully,
even though police was involved and all of that,
even though the world was involved, you would be denied. Now, you could probably file if the police was involved. Perhaps there's a abuse case that you can file. That would be a different story. But right now, they're not even accepting abuse cases. So hopefully they will in the future. And I think they will. But if you're asking me what do you do, the best thing to do is resolve it. But if you can't resolve it and police are involved and there's abuse, then obviously, you're oil and water. You can't be together. All right? So you're in Newark, New Jersey. I'm across the river in New York. I would suggest you come talk to me. Hold on one second, all right? All right. Let's go to Jim in Weymouth, Massachusetts.
Yes, Weymouth.
Yes, how are you?
Good. So my college roommate, he is a immigrant from South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a question regarding him. The other day, he received a letter in the mail from immigration enforcement, and I believe it said,
I knew that. All right, Hassan in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes. How are you, bro?
How are you?
Good. My question is, I filed with my wife on I-130.
Right.
And then she already got an interview on last year, June.
Right.
And right now they process everything, but it's still on starting June. When I look, the case is still on administrative processing. So how long it's gonna take is to be in that position?
How long you filed when?
I mean, the cases right now is administrative process.
Where is this?
Administrative process.
Where?
In the consular section, in the consular, outside of the U.S.
You're asking me how long are they going to be administratively processing your case? I have no idea. It could take a week, it could take a month, it could take a year, it could take forever. So I don't know the answer. I can't tell you. When they're administrative processing, that means they're investigating something. I can't tell you how long it will take. I can tell you it's an abuse of their power and discretion for it to take too long. What's too long? 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks. That's too long. And then at that point, you have two choices. Choice number one is you can hire an attorney to try to call the embassy to work things out nicely. And if not, two, you can hire an attorney to file what's called a mandamus action and an APA claim. A mandamus action is to force the government to make a decision, and the APA claim is for them to follow their own decision, to follow their own procedures. You sue them. Those are your only two choices.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But I can't tell you the exact time. Now, you need help doing that. We can help you. Hold on 1 second. All right? Let's go to Linda in Chicago, Illinois. Linda.
Hi, Mr. Brad.
How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you. And you?
Good. What's going on?
So I have a green card via VAWR.
It's
staying as green card, and of course, I've divorced a man, but I got remarried. However, the person I remarried is still in Ghana, and I filed a I-130 for him. So my question to you is, I tried to file taxes, and because he doesn't live here, the accountant that was filing the tax, because I tried to tell her to put it as married, and she said it's not possible because if she puts it, it's going to demand for a Social Security, and he has never been here before.
Where is he now?
He's in Ghana.
All right, so just file married, filing separately.
Married, filing separately. Okay.
All right.
Well, I've already filed it already.
But you could always ask for a tax identification number for him. File a W-7.
Even when he has never lived in USA before?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
So
hold
is that gonna?
No, but
is that
you don't need to
affect-
file a joint tax return because he doesn't live here. Okay. But
yeah, he doesn't live here. He has never been here
you would
before.
file married, filing separately. That's how you should do it. If you need help, we have a tax attorney here who can help you, even over the telephone. So hold on 1 second, okay? I'm not a tax expert, but I can tell you that's how you should be doing it. Let's go to Deidre in Brooklyn.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm calling about a situation.
Yes.
I got married, and my husband, after we put in the paperwork, my husband decided to leave me and want a divorce. Is there anything I could do?
Well, you can get divorced and marry somebody else and fall in love again, or you can try to file a VAWA case and hope that they extend it, which I'm sure they will if there was abuse in the relationship.
What if there wasn't like any?
If there's no abuse and you just the marriage fizzled and that was it, and maybe you had an argument here and there, then at that point the only thing you can do is get divorced and figure out another way to get a green card.
Okay.
All right. Hold on if you need help. All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. So far, all bad news for everybody today. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to Donna in Teaneck, New Jersey. Donna.
Yes. Hi.
Yes. Hi.
I have a 10-year green card, and I sponsored my son, and he came here. He's now 23 years old. He went to college, everything. Now he's filing his citizenship on his own. He's okay doing it by himself?
Yeah, he's 23. Why not?
Okay, so his father was in immigration court, and they put his case off for next year. Would he be able to sponsor his father before his next court date?
If he becomes a citizen before the next court date, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
How long is that petition?
Citizenship is taking 12 to 24 months, so you should start now.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Samantha in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Samantha.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Brad. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I went to interview 2 months ago, but I didn't have my medical with me.
Right.
the officer advised me that everything was good, but I need to drop my medical off at a local USCIS office.
Right.
I did that, but I haven't heard anything since.
How many months has it been?
It's been about 2 months now.
Okay, by law, they have 4 months from the time you drop it off to make a decision. All right, so that's why I tell everybody.
So there's not an issue.
Yeah, so that's why I tell everybody, wait 4 months. If you don't hear by 4 months, give me a call.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
All right.
All right.
Hang in there. All right, so with that said, I do want to remind everybody about our Instagram pages. I have a new one. It's @Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me @Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram and I know who you are, I promise I'll follow you back. If I don't know who you are, then I'm not going to follow you back. So I'm going to be like, who is this person? And if sometimes I don't realize I know who you are. So if I don't realize I know who you are, then let me know. I should know you, and I should follow you back. I'm happy to do it. So you can follow me @Real Brad Bernstein. You'll see some of our true life success stories on my Instagram page and watch me travel around the world because I like to travel.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
all right,
you
and
do.
Belgium Kim and Yo-Yo, where are your Instagram pages?
I am @Belgium Kim on Instagram, and I will promise to work really hard to give you better, more content.
Yes, and I am on Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
That's not really encouraging to make somebody to follow you. I'll give you some content at some point.
Here's the thing. If I tell you guys, go follow Belgium Kim, you following Belgium Kim is going to motivate me to then be giving you killer sneak peeks at what I'm doing when I'm out in the field, when I'm just at my desk working. I'll give you guys all that stuff, but I got to know that you guys are there.
And meanwhile, at Real Brad Bernstein. So when you follow @Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram,
yes.
Not only I said you're going to have true life success stories and my travels around the world,
right.
But you're going to get the highlights, the best 2 minutes of Brad Show Live from the day before. So if you missed the show and you want to see the best 2 minutes of our show, and that's all you have, you're going to be able to see it on Instagram every day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
@Real Brad Bernstein. With that, talking about Instagram.
Yes.
Did you see this thing with Cardi B?
Ooh, I did.
You did?
I did.
I did.
Yeah. So on Instagram live video over the weekend, the Grammy-winning rapper said when she was a stripper, she used to drug and rob men she worked with. She would go and tell them, hey, yeah, you want to fuck me? Yeah. Let's go to the hotel. And then I drugged, I don't want to say that word.
Them.
Very bad word for a
Right.
black person. And then I robbed them. And that's what I used to do. So as a stripper, she admitted on live Instagram that she would convince men to go to a hotel, purportedly to be a prostitute, and fuck them. And instead, she would drug them and rob them. She admitted to multiple crimes on a live Instagram feed.
Mm-hmm.
So the remarks prompted a fierce backlash on social media. Some noted that she may have incriminated herself, and she did.
Right.
The rapper later posted a defense of the resurfaced clip, writing that, quote, she talked about things I had to do in my past, right or wrong, that I felt I needed to do to make a living. I'm a part of a hip-hop culture where you can talk about where you come from, talk about the wrong things you had to do to get where you are. All I can do now is be a better me for myself, my family, and my future. Now, Cardi B has kicked back at the critics who, according to the rapper, have questioned how hard she's worked, even as she ascended to the top of the hip-hop world. She recently defended her pursuit to trademark her catchphrase. I can't even say it. Yeah, I know, but I can't say it. Saying it was her right to make as much money as she could off of it. Now, last week it was announced that the Bronx-born rapper would make her film debut in a movie about ex-strippers swindling their Wall Street clients.
So. The thing is, a lot of people are saying, what's the difference between Cardi B and Bill Cosby? So Bill Cosby drugged and raped these women. Cardi B drugged and stole from the men.
Well, Cardi B didn't have sex with them. She just stole from them.
Exactly.
So there was a difference. There was a sexual act
exactly.
and a thievery.
Right. She wasn't having sex with them. So that's one big difference. And the, which I don't think is right, but this is what the majority feels. We feel like more sympathy towards Cardi B, one, because she's a woman, she came from the dirt, and in that video it was very emotional. She was like at the brinks of tears, you know, saying what I had to do in order to make it. I had to guys just to get through the door. I had to, you know, almost prostitute myself just to go forward because I didn't feel like I was good enough to do it other ways. So it was a very emotional video. So most people sympathize more with Cardi B and women, period, when it has to do with women drugging and raping men. And more people would have more sympathy to the women if a man was drugging or raping the female. So it's very much what is it called? I'm trying to think of the term, but
is it a double standard?
Yes, there you go. It's very double standard, you know. But
well,
that's
I mean, there's situations where men give some sort of drug to a woman in a bar, and purportedly to rape them, and sometimes rape them, sometimes they don't. But they're still committed a crime,
right?
Whether the rape actually happened or didn't, simply by giving that drug to that person, and they didn't ask to be drugged.
Right.
And then on top of it, she robbed them. Those are two crimes. Maybe you can say, well, that's not the equivalent of rape. Maybe rape is a worse crime.
Yeah.
But it's still two crimes that she committed. And they're not good crimes. They're bad crimes.
So what happens if you guys are both committing crimes? Because he was going to pay her for sex. So that's a crime as well.
That is.
That is exactly what I was about to say.
So the guy that's coming out
two
now.
Two wrongs don't make a right, though.
Right, but I'm saying in court. So like there's already a guy, of course, you know, that
two
people
wrongs don't make a right, and as Sasha Ford said, wrong is wrong, period.
Okay. So of course people are going to start coming out of the woodworks and say, hey, I got drugged and robbed by Cardi B. So there's a guy that came out and has already said it. So can you counter sue that and say, hey, you were about to sue? You was about to.
All I can say is
that
there's plenty of ways to make money in life. Okay, and there's plenty of people who came from dirt and made it, and they didn't have to drug people, and they didn't have to rob people. So there's different avenues that everyone can take. And she did admit to a crime. That's what I feel.
What do you feel, Kim?
I'm really torn because I like Cardi B and I like her honesty. I like the way that she's transparent about a lot of things. And quite frankly, I don't think that she's done something that not a lot of other women in her industry have also done. I would not be surprised. It is a crime. Wrong is wrong, and I think that she should probably have to pay for those crimes in some way, whether that is return what she stole from those men, community service. I do think that she should probably atone for her crimes. I don't think it's in any way a sex crime and should in no way be compared to any of the Me Too movement happening, because we're not talking about sex assault. Right. We're talking about she drugged them and robbed them.
Yes.
Absolutely. A crime, yes. A sex crime,
and it's nothing
no.
And she said, I'm not proud of it, but I did it.
Right.
But you want to know what? In a way, she is proud of it because she's bragging about it.
No, she's not.
She was bragging about it a little bit.
I
didn't see the video.
Cardi B,
I didn't see.
How are you going to say that?
Because it just sounds like it to me.
It sounds like it, but it's not. Cardi B has come from the trash, the gutter.
But why did she have to say anything?
Because Cardi B is Cardi B because of her personality, because of her being relatable to so many people that literally came from the gutter and now
but
are
a lot of
millionaires.
people, but a lot of people didn't go rob people to become successful.
A lot of people did. You didn't live in the hood.
I'm not saying
that is literally the everyday life in the Bronx.
But I'm not saying that everybody's robbing everybody in the Bronx. Not everybody.
Regardless of if you're robbing or you're selling drugs,
there's a difference. There's a difference between being a hustler and being a thief.
That's still hustling. You're hustling people.
That's not hustling.
Robbing.
No. Giving somebody drugs, knocking them out in a hotel room, and stealing from them. That's not hustling. Come on, that's being a thief.
It goes in that. It goes in the category. I'm saying the reason why she's Cardi B, and the reason why she's open, she's famous is because she's always been open. I'm saying she's not bragging about it.
Yeah, she
was not happy about that.
She wants the publicity. Okay, she knows how to get people talking about her, whether it's positive or negative. There's always.
I think she doesn't think before she speaks. That I do believe, but I don't think she was bragging about this.
Yeah. You know what Sasha Ford said? She says, I'm doing 2 different jobs and none involve drugging or robbing any man. I'm paying for my car, my rent, and my son.
And that's fair.
And that is fair.
I think, however, that if we're talking double standards, I think that Cardi B is getting a tremendous amount of flack because she is a woman. Because I love Eminem, but Eminem has done most of his career talking about raping and murdering women.
That's a lot of people say that in their music.
100%.
But did he do it? Did he do anything?
But there's a tremendous amount of rappers that have.
That's part of the culture.
That have
There's a
talked
difference
about it in
between
their
about
music.
talking about it and actually doing it.
Yeah.
And if Eminem did something, he should go to jail too.
Right.
Absolutely, but I think that I think she's not getting away. I think she's getting away with less than others in her situation.
And Pauline Williams, she just asked, am I making an excuse for her? I am not making an excuse for her. I just understand when girls who don't love their self from a young age start stripping and feel like that's the only way they can make it. I see where their mindset is. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying I understand where she came from because I've known people like that. People who were raped. She said that there was a time that her boyfriend whooped her ass and she went right back. It's because they're in that mindset. Yeah. It's almost brainwashed. So I sympathize for that. And also the guys, they wanted sex.
By the way, I'm not commenting on her being a stripper.
No.
Okay?
No.
If somebody wants to use their body to make money, God bless them. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's their prerogative. It's their body. And if that's how they want to make money, God bless them. Yeah. More power to them. I have no problem with her being a stripper.
Right.
Okay? I have no problem with it whatsoever. My problem is robbing and drugging people against their will.
Absolutely.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I definitely think it's a crime. I definitely think it's a crime.
So there's a difference. You're a stripper. Excuse me. You're a stripper. You're hustling. You're drugging people and robbing them. You're now a criminal. And there's a big difference between being a hustler and being a criminal.
And that I wholeheartedly agree with. There is one tiny factual, in case people don't realize. Don Harriet said, I see where you're at, Yo-Yo, but why talk about it now? She did not talk about it now. This was a 3-year-old video that got dug up, and it was in response to a question that someone in her Instagram Live had asked her.
And by the way, Cece Mitchell says, wait till Yo-Yo gets robbed by a stripper and he'll sing a different story.
Which is why I said it's not right.
Right.
You know, it's not right. But I mean, you know, I said it's just an unfortunate
All right,
situation.
we got to get to something we like to call here social media checking. There it goes. Okay. Social media checking. We're a little late there. All right.
And by the way, I don't like strippers, so it wouldn't happen.
That's how you get not run by a stripper?
You don't go to a strip club.
That's a fact for you.
Yeah, here's a great one. That's a very good. All right, here's a good safety tip. Don't let me robbed by a stripper. Don't go to a strip club.
All right, our first one comes from Charity saying, a friend was refused entry. He and his family got visas with intentions to visit around Christmas because, but because of delay in their visas, time ran out as their kids had to go back to school within days of getting the visas. Therefore, they postponed the trip to April when schools close to next. So this friend decided he should make a quick trip to see his mom who wasn't doing well. His intentions was to visit the sick mom who was a U.S. citizen for 3 weeks and return home. Then he was going to come back in April when school closes with his family.
This is way too long. What's the question?
I'm about to get there.
Okay.
They canceled his
it's like
visa.
a novel.
Right. Well, okay, they're explaining.
Okay.
So they canceled his visa and that of his wife and kids. So now what are the options? The children are still looking forward to visit, but don't know
Why'd they
that
cancel
their
the
visas
visa?
were canceled. They don't know why their visas were canceled.
I don't know either. Why were the visas canceled? I have no idea why the visas were canceled.
Does that sound?
I gotta get my magic 8-ball out again. He wanted to visit his mom.
Mm-hmm.
His mom's a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And who canceled his visa?
He just says that they canceled.
Who's they? When? When he tried to enter America?
No. He said then he was going to come back. So I guess he wasn't able to come.
Okay. My guess is. This is my guess.
His intentions.
This is my guess. He came to visit mom and never went home. He's now overstayed his time. And now they're concerned that the other children will have their visas canceled. Is that what happened?
It says that it was canceled.
I don't know what happened. after that whole long story. Kim, do you have any additional information to tell me about this?
I'm trying to put this through my Facebook translator because I know that every once in a while I can get through this, but I really don't know.
As Jessica Limi Joel so astutely states, something was left out of that question.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one.
Maxine Bailey said, someone lost their phone and a prepaid card, and the police say that they think that it was my son that found that card and that cell phone and used the card at a Walmart. They couldn't place him with the cell phone, but the judge gave him a year parole. He's just been here for 3 years. What happens now?
If it's a petty offense, you're safe. If it's something more than a petty offense, that's a deportable offense because you have a crime of moral turpitude within the first 5 years of your entry into America. So what is a petty offense? If the maximum sentence could not have been more than a year and you spent less than 6 months in jail. So I need to know a little more.
Onaya says, is there an expedited process to renewing a Jamaican passport? I have a family emergency and need to go home in 4 weeks, except my passport is expired.
Yeah, call the Jamaican consulate and tell them your emergency and show why you need to leave. They may not renew the passport, but they'll give you an emergency travel document. I've seen that happen.
Anita Martinez applied for her VAWA in November of 2017, and it's still pending. How much longer does she have?
Taking 2 years.
So at least another 6 months.
All right, Pettigay Barrett says, "Hey Brad, my question is: my husband petitioned my son and I last year, December. But my son is in Jamaica and he's a minor. I just filed my AOS last week. How long does it take for my son's I-130 to approve?"
It should take 6 months, but it's taking closer to a year.
God Embassy Ministries says, could I get USCIS to resend my RFE? It was sent to the old address.
Yes, go online.
Randy Marshall says, if someone is yet to acquire a green card and has a child, and that child's mother chose to put the father on child support, will this impact the future of the father to the child in any negative way when dealing with his green card interviews or application process?
There's child support by the father, and who does it want to affect? The son? Who
no,
the child support's
by, the father. To the child.
If the father doesn't pay the child support, it affects him. If the father pays the child support, it doesn't affect him.
We've got a question from Fox Racing who said, what visa classification does someone need to apply for if a person is seeking medical treatment in the U.S.? And does the person need to apply online or in person abroad?
You apply in person abroad. You would get a B2 visa, which is a visitor's visa. You would need to be able to establish that there's a doctor in America that can do your treatment, that you can afford to pay this doctor, and you can pay all the ancillary bills, such as hospital bills and anesthesia and medication and food. And you have to be able to also show that there's no doctor in your home country who can handle this medical procedure.
All right, Don DV says, hey, Brad, I lived in NYC with my dad for 6 years. My parents divorced in 2012, and my mom and I went back to Japan. My dad became a citizen in 2013, and I want to come visit my dad. Can I apply for a green card again to come to America, or am I a U.S. citizen? I'm 17 years old. I had a green card when I lived in New York, but it's already expired.
What you should do is apply to the U.S. Embassy in Japan. This person's in Japan?
Yes.
Apply to the U.S. Embassy in Japan for what's called an SB1 visa. You're under 18, they'll allow you to come back and maintain your permanent residence, but you should do that immediately.
Okay, and
then when you come back, you're going to become an automatic citizen provided you re-enter before 18.
Oh, wow.
And then you get your
because
US
the
passport.
dad is a citizen now.
Correct.
So, wow. Nice. That's good news.
Hey, you finally gave some good news.
That was like for sure. Just hope that your 18th birthday isn't like tomorrow.
And then she's going to tell, but my 18th birthday's tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
Also, 2 hours into the show, it would be weird if we started to give out good news now. Legs 11, Ted.
The only good news is I'm a sausage. That's about the only good news I found out all night.
Is that good news? Would we consider that good news?
Or maybe I'm not a banana. That's bad news.
Legs 11 Tag says, I entered on a visa waiver program and I married a U.S. citizen within 90 days and remained in the U.S. Would waiting 18 months before applying for green card eliminate misrepresentation and forgive overstaying my visa waiver program?
It would forgive overstaying, but it won't waive misrepresentation. You're still going to need a misrepresentation waiver.
All right, Pauline Williams says, Brad, okay, I'm going to try to say this, Mr. Immigrationologist.
Immigrationologist.
Yeah.
Nope, but that's not how she said.
She did a
She put a little OL. So
immigrationologist.
Right.
Yes.
Got it.
Can an affidavit of support expire? Also, can giving one affect your spouse?
An affidavit of support doesn't expire, but you may need to update the documentation in an affidavit of support.
She over here.
Sorry, I just let out a big yawn while Jan was talking, and he was just like, "Yo, the camera's still on." I'm sorry, people. Diana Hudson, are you done looking now? Diana Hudson says, "If you got the 2-year green card and things aren't working out, what should you do?"
Get a divorce, prove it's a real marriage, and file the I-751 on your own.
All right, Oscar says, how long is an AOS under 245I taking right now?
12 to 30 months.
We've got a question from Sammy on tweet who said, a friend of mine would like to know how long it takes to be called for an interview after receiving your work authorization through marriage to a U.S. citizen in New York City.
Adjustment applications take 12 to 30 months.
All right, Terry Unique says, hey, Brad, how long does a waiver take to approve?
What are you whispering, Kim, while you're on camera?
Unique New York. Unique, because her name is Unique Terry. I was just like, unique.
What? Okay. All right, what is it?
Unique Terry Unique says, hey, Brad, how long does a waiver take to approve?
About a year now.
This is a fraud waiver? Fraud waiver?
Yeah, about a year.
Same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cordella says, my uncle is asking for a friend. No, I'm sorry. Uncle Brad, I'm asking for a friend.
Got it.
After her permanent resident husband filed for her to get her I-130 approved, what's the next documents to file?
You got to wait for the national contact by the National Visa Center once the priority date is reached. And then you got to do process to go home, or if the person's already home, then they just go home. But if you're going to process to go home and you're here out of status, then you need a provisional waiver. And by the way, I had seen that Cordella also asked what a SIJ is.
Yeah.
She is. So let me answer that as well, since we're answering all of Cordella's questions.
Of course.
That's a special immigrant juvenile. That is a child who is here under the age of 18, who at least one of their parents abandoned, neglected, or injured them. And they are now in the legal custody of somebody other than at least one of their biological parents. They would be eligible for a SIJ, which is a green card, provided that the family court judge who gave the guardianship to the new adult guardian says that it's not in the child's best interest to be returned to the abusive or injurious parent or abandoning parent.
All right, our next one comes from homeboy Henry, saying, I got married on a J1 visa. My I-130 was approved. Now my lawyer's telling me I need to file for a waiver from my Jamaican embassy, and I don't know what to do.
Follow your lawyer's advice. File the waiver.
Sheila Brown said, hey, Brad, can a daughter...
Magic 8 Ball. Lawyer says you need a lawyer.
I feel like with questions like that, it means that you probably should get
a second opinion.
Lawyer. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You should probably just get the consultation.
Right. Anytime people are saying, now my lawyer's telling me, that means you implicitly don't trust your lawyer.
Right.
Like,
especially if you're saying you don't know what to do when you have a lawyer.
Right.
Correct.
You should be very confident when you have a lawyer.
Right.
So anybody, if you're not confident and you're asking questions here, I think it just makes sense to use Brad as your lawyer.
Correct.
It's right here, this little situation right here. Look at that. Look at that. Sheila Brown, I don't think we asked her. We started, but we didn't. Sheila Brown said, can a daughter file for her mother?
Yes, as long as she's over 21, she's a U.S. citizen.
All right, Princess Tenko says, a friend of mine recently found out her husband was lying to her and playing her for a green card. Oh, hell no. They both did the interview at the embassy in Jamaica. If she doesn't file the I-601 waiver, will the case automatically be declined? She doesn't want to move forward with the filing anymore.
Yes, because the petitioner has to file the 601 waiver, so the person will never get a green card.
Wow.
Trifling.
You showed your cards too early and you got played, playa.
Yeah.
Nope. Craig Rose.
That's a hustle.
Says,
That's a hustle, right?
That's a hustle.
That's not a thief. That's a hustle, right?
Still illegal, though.
He stole years from her.
That is true.
Stole her time.
That is true.
And marriage fraud is illegal.
Yes.
Ha-ha. Craig Rose said, my friend and his wife filed their taxes to buy, but they did not use the address that they live. They used her sister's house address. Is that going to be a problem?
Yes, because you're not claiming you're living where you're claiming you're living.
Right.
Andrea Las Chin says, you have an approved I-130, but your I-485 was denied. Can the fees be waived for the I-601A?
No.
We've got a question from Mel Byrne, who said, my sister's a U.S. citizen and filed an I-130 petition for my mom in Jamaica. However, the consulate information was left off the form. The priority date is in September. Is there any way she could add the consulate information before the I-130 is approved? And if so, how?
No, don't worry about it. If the address shows that she lives in Jamaica, they're going to just say Kingston.
Catherine says, how long is the expedited process for I-601A after the EP is approved?
12 months.
Mine are all out of order.
It is. Go ahead.
A friend of mine, Shanika, says, a friend of mine has a 1-year advance parole card. How many times do you recommend for her to travel within that 1 year?
As many times as you want, but keep the traveling to at least 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maximum.
Okay, hold on. We got a lot, so let me.
Yeah, we do.
Nella
says,
hey, I got a question. So I got my green card in January, but there was a mistake with the year. My lawyer sent an email to USCIS with a pic of the green card, but I have not heard anything back as of yet. What should I do?
You have to file an I-90 form for a replacement green card to get the right one.
So not just send a pic.
Yeah, dumb lawyers that. Here's a picture. It's wrong.
Lord, who are y'all hiring?
Yeah. Joel Edme said, after filing a motion to reopen for the second time, one of the Miami immigration courts has granted my motion to reopen through an approved I-130 petition for my wife. But the Department of Homeland Security refused to join. What's the difference between these two entities, and what does it mean for my case?
If the judge reopens your case is reopened. It's easier for a judge to reopen the case if everybody agrees, which would be the Department of Homeland Security. But if the judge reopened the case, then wonderful, mazel tov.
All right, funny video says, I got my green card and my husband and I separated after 2 years. How do I proceed to get my 10-year?
Get a divorce and prove it's a real marriage and file the I-751 on your own.
And finally, we've got one from Bunny Video.
I did that.
So sorry. Man, they're all out of order. Boss Lady, who said, Brad, if a person's I-485 is denied, but they already sent in a renewal for the I-130, is that going to be denied too?
What was denied originally?
The I-485.
What is the renewal for an I-130? I have no idea.
It sounds like
an I-765 probably for the work permit. Yes, it will be denied.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on November 13th, 2016, Amina Mohidan and Joseph Wiedneck, they met at a protest in Austin, Texas. It's kind of cool. And it was 3 days after Donald Trump was elected president. Now, Amina was protesting Donald Trump. Joseph was wearing a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again, and was supporting Trump. So we have one protester protesting Trump, and we got one guy in a MAGA hat. Now, they're on opposite sides of the political spectrum, but they became unlikely friends after the protests started to become violent. In fact, Amina protected Joseph from getting beat up, and they have since now become friends and have become famous friendship.
Wow.
Let's watch. Amina Emdine and Joseph Wiedneck are very close friends who, from looking at them, seem like an unlikely pair to form a friendship. Their bond was formed after they met at a protest in Austin, Texas on November 13th, 2016, right after Donald Trump was elected president. Amina was protesting Trump. Joseph was supporting Trump.
But when the rally started to get violent, Amina and Joseph connected, and the two opposites are now very good friends. Here to explain their experience at the protest, their friendship, and the message they have for all of us is Amina and Joseph. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Well, how are you?
Good, good. So, Amina, you're not from the United States. Where were you born?
I was born in Iraq.
And when did you come to the U.S.?
In 2007.
In 2007. Do you know how you came here? What program you came on?
I believe my father, because he had worked with an American company, had a sponsored visa.
Okay, great. And how old were you when you came?
10 years old.
You were 10 years old. So you grew up most of your life here in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My formative years, I would say.
Sure. And I see you wear a hijab. You wear that all the time when you go out?
Yeah.
Yes. So, Joe, where did you grow up?
Austin, Texas.
Did you have any exposure in Austin, Texas? Did you ever come across Muslim woman, a Muslim man?
Just through what you see on the news before I met Amina.
And your political affiliation, you're a Republican?
Yes.
And who did you vote for in the last election?
Donald Trump.
You voted for Trump. Now, Amina, I assume you did not vote for Donald Trump, right? He doesn't have the nicest things to say about people from your country and your religion. And Joe, you are a pro-Trump supporter. Pretty odd friendship to have, right? And on top of that, you seem to be superficially different. Just tell me your superficial differences.
Well, I'm about 6'6", 350, linebacker in high school, so fairly large person.
I'm 5'5", about 160.
You're about an average-sized woman, Amina.
Yeah.
And Joe, you're a big guy, right?
Yeah.
So you both came to this protest. You never met each other, didn't know anything about each other. Joe, you never knew Amina. Amina, you never knew Joe before Sunday, November 13th in 2016. Let's start with Joe. Joe, what brought you to this protest?
It's actually kind of a funny story. I didn't even know there was going to be a protest that day. I'd actually just made signs, just goofing around, and I was looking to have a conversation with somebody out in front of the Capitol on a Sunday, and the protest just kind of happened around me without me even knowing it was going on.
So you were in your MAGA hat and your pro-Trump sign, whatever you wrote on your Trump sign. You wanted to gloat a little bit that your guy won.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
And Amina, what brought you to the protest? Obviously the rhetoric from Trump, but what got you out on that particular day?
So I had gone to the protest that happened in Austin the day after the election, just because of all the emotions I was feeling, and I felt like I wanted to be involved in getting my voice heard. But at that protest, I noticed that some people were chanting some aggressive slogans and things like that. So when I saw the Facebook invite for the event that was happening on Sunday, and the message of it was "Love Trump's Hate," I thought that would be more suited to what I wanted to get out there, so that's why I attended.
So the protest the day before was by protesters who were anti-Trump but a little more vocal. What was the difference between what you saw the day before and what you were expecting to see on that Sunday, November 13th?
There was the people that were chanting the slogans that we were all repeating. At some points, they got a little bit aggressive and militant, saying anti-police things. And even though the police were there to help protect us and help it go smoothly, I anticipated not having the same atmosphere on the protest on Sunday than the one that was a couple days before.
Right, because it was a protest more of love on Sunday. Now, Joe, you show up to the Capitol just to kind of gloat with your signs. You weren't expecting any trouble, right?
No, not at all.
So now, how many people, Amina, were there protesting against Trump and his policies and his rhetoric?
I would say around 300.
And how many pro-Trump supporters were there at that moment?
Oh, pro-Trump supporters?
Yeah.
None, just
me.
Joe.
Just Joe. So we had 200 anti-Trump supporters, of which you were one of them, that you thought you were going to have a protest of peace and love. And there Joe shows up, former linebacker from high school with his MAGA hat and Trump signs to kind of gloat about Trump, not knowing that he was walking right into what turned out to be a very dangerous situation. So how did the protests go until Joe showed up? Was it peaceful?
I would say it was mostly uneventful, yes. I mean, there was some confrontations on our way around Congress Avenue, I believe, around downtown. But most of the people joined us, people cheered us on. It was fairly uneventful. There's not a lot of people giving us trouble, I don't think.
So what happened when Joe just walked right into this situation with his Trump hat and Trump signs? What happened?
All I noticed there was a group of people that surrounded him and that were screaming at him. I could tell from their gestures.
Now, Joe, did you ever think, hey, I'm in the wrong spot, maybe I should turn around? Or did you just walk right there with your chest up saying, I'm going to walk right in the middle of this group and kind of like, here's my hat, here's my sign. What got you into this crowd?
They actually surrounded me. I was standing, you know, kind of on the steps of the Capitol, and they marched towards me. I just stood my ground.
Were there police there?
Yes.
And did the police do anything to try to help you or support you, or at that moment, nothing? They just kind of watched?
No. They just kind of watched until I started fighting back against the Antifa mob.
Okay, so fighting back in what sense?
So there were about 30 people in masks and hoodies, so, you know, the symbolic Antifa outfits.
And did they physically touch you, or were they chanting at you? Were they cursing at you? What were they doing to you?
They were, you know, chanting their slogans, screaming, cussing me out, and grabbed my hat. That disappeared off somewhere. They started grabbing my signs, ripping them up, and it was about that point that Amina stepped in.
I read, and tell me if this is correct or not, I read that somebody tried to light your shirt on fire?
Yeah,
which would have lit you on fire, literally.
Yeah, they tried to do that. It was about 3 or 4 seconds that happened before the police stepped in.
Okay, you would have been burned.
Yeah.
Now, Amina, you're watching this happen. You're part of the protest, and along this route, there's Joe sitting on the steps with his MAGA hat, his only Trump supporter there. All these people, they're angry about what happened. They come and surround Joe. What are you seeing?
I just remember seeing him. He stood out because he was taller than everyone. And I remember seeing him with his hat. And I actually remembered him from the beginning of the protest because we marched from point A back to point A. But I remember him from the beginning, and I had his, I knew that he was there. So when we got back, I noticed that he was still there and that now there was a group surrounding him. I wasn't aware of the lighter situation. I just saw that they took the hat off his head and they grabbed his sign and tore it up. And luckily I was close enough to see that.
And now you went to his aid, a man who is a pro-Trump supporter, for all you know, wants to kick you and everyone from your country and your religion out of the United States. Who knows what he thinks? He's there supporting Trump. What made you go to his aid?
When I saw him, I didn't think, oh, this is an Islamophobe or this is a person that hates people like me. That's not what I thought. All I thought was this is a person that made a political choice, just like any American has the right to do. And no matter what his political choice was, he doesn't deserve to be treated this way. And this is kind of a violation of his person, what they were doing to him. And a violation of his right to declare his political affiliation, to kind of express his opinions. That's all that I was thinking.
I don't know what this looks like, but I assume like it would be like a general state capitol where there's these big steps that go up to fancy building at the top, and he's somewhere on these steps and you're on the sidewalk coming by. You ran up the steps like Rocky. What did you do?
All I remember is that after I saw what was happening, I just thought, I don't want this to escalate. And I remember just running up kind of through the crowd and just standing in front of Joe so that the people around him would back off. I thought maybe if they saw somebody with a hijab that was, on their side, then they wouldn't be attacking me. So I kind of used the fact that I was part of them to kind of...
How did you get through the crowd? Did you literally have to push people aside, or was there did you kind of slide through, or what did you do to get through the crowd?
That's a good question. I don't think I had to push people aside. There was already sort of people backing off from the situation because they realized that there was a situation happening, and there were some people that kind of did not want to be involved. But I don't remember if I pushed anyone aside or had to weave through people. I honestly don't. I've told Joe before, there's a big part of it that's kind of a blur. It's hard for me to remember sometimes.
What do you remember about people trying to take his hat off and throw it away?
Yeah, it made me very upset. I mean, I just remember that similar things had happened to me when people tried to take my hijab off my head because it's a symbol of my religion. And it just kind of flashed back to those moments in my life, and I realized that this is not okay, and I don't want this to be the representation of the protest that I had been marching for, 2 hours about.
So, Joe, do you remember the moment when Amina showed up in front of you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Do you remember do you remember, you're like, who is this woman and why is she fighting on my behalf? What went through your head? This Muslim woman is helping me. What's going on?
It was interesting because her voice, it was like an octave higher than everything around. So like her voice kind of, it cut through, you know, everything that was going on. And it was something that, like, you know, it took my attention away. And all of a sudden I see this, you know, her standing in front of me, dukes up, like, you know, this isn't what we're about, this isn't what's going on. And I just thought, I was honestly just dumbfounded. Like, I had no idea what could be happening, you know?
So her dukes were up. She had her fists up. You thought she was going to punch one of these people for you?
Yeah, she was grabbing the signs that were ripped up back. You know, she was, you know, playing defense, you know?
Oh, she was trying to grab the signs and give them back to you?
Yeah.
Now, Amina, do you remember what you said to the protesters?
I remember some of what I said to them. I remember asking them to give me the hat and the signs back. I think they were very confused. They didn't know what to do. I just thought that even if it's torn up, like I wanted to have it back, just like symbolically, because it belongs to him.
Right.
So I just remember saying, "Leave him alone. This is not what we're about." I think that's some of the things that I said.
How long of a time was it from the moment that you stepped in front of him to the moment that the crowd dissipated?
God, it felt like forever, but it was probably about 30 to 40 seconds.
Okay. And then, Amina, you kind of raced up there, kind of like Rocky with your hands out, and you said, give me back those signs and give me back that hat and stop it, basically. Do you remember the exact words you used?
No, I was screaming. I know that much.
Right.
And I think I was screaming those things.
And were you screaming at one particular person that looked particularly menacing, or was it just, you were just, you know, your head was going everywhere?
I couldn't really see them that clearly. A lot of them were wearing like bandanas around their faces. So I didn't really identify or focus on one person in particular. It was just a group of about maybe 5 that really stood out.
And their reaction was, who's this woman? You know, did you feel that like being a woman, you know, kind of helped a little bit? Was being in a hijab help a little bit? Was being a protester, or was it kind of a combination of everything?
I think it was mostly my job. They knew that I was on their side.
Right.
And that I was there as an anti-Trump supporter. Like, that's what they assumed. And they assumed correctly, but I think that worked to my advantage because they didn't want to attack me as a woman and as a Muslim woman. They were mostly confused.
I could almost imagine the scene. They're all like all angry, and then all of a sudden they're going to get deflated, like, there you are. Did the police ever show up, or it just never, there was no police there to assist?
They were nearby.
They were nearby, but nobody came to do anything.
Right after I heard the lighters behind my head, they were trying to light my collar on fire. Kind of, you know, swept my arm back, and I guess the movement of, you know, the actual movement of me in self-defense spurred the state troopers into action, and they started breaking it up.
And Amina, did you ever turn to Joe after it was kind of all broken up and say, hey, why are you protesting for Trump? What did you say to him?
I wasn't thinking, like, what is wrong with this guy? I mean, I knew people voted for Trump. It wasn't a surprise.
Right.
And I knew the reasons why people voted for Trump. I wasn't surprised or anything. But afterwards, the only thing I could think was, like, I'm kind of embarrassed by the actions of these people, the people that are on my side. So I just kind of apologized to him. That kind of stuff happened to him.
So you apologized on behalf of the protesters that happened, and you kind of like picking up his signs and giving it to him?
Yes.
And Joe, were you surprised that she came to your defense?
Immensely. I honestly thought that was going to be the end for me. You know, either I was going to be attacked by these people, or I was going to have to fight back, and I would have ended up in jail somehow.
Right.
Like, I thought there was the only two ways out of there.
What was your reaction to Amina when all of this was done? The two of you were looking at each other like, holy cow, what just happened?
I think we hugged for a good couple seconds.
You really did?
You know, the wave of emotions of just like, you know, all of a sudden we had this common ground where we both agreed that what had happened wasn't right. So, I mean, it was just kind of this moment that both of us had.
And you hugged, and then what happened?
I think we friended each other on Facebook.
How long was your interaction with each other before you said goodbye to each other?
It was a while, maybe like 10 minutes.
And what'd you talk about?
From my recollection, we were just kind of recounting the events, like what had led up to the incident and, you know, why we were there at the protest.
And then I guess you got her name and somebody looked somebody up on Facebook. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
When did this friendship become more than just social media friends and we kind of follow each other?
I think it was the radio interview is when we kind of started to realize something was happening.
Now, I understand 2 of the protesters were arrested. Did they ever go to jail? What happened with them?
I know one of them was in court. I had to stand as a witness. I didn't press charges, but they asked me and a few of the state troopers to act as witnesses to the trial, but I hadn't really followed it.
So now you kind of struck up a friendship after this radio show. I guess you speak to each other on phone, text, however you guys communicate. What do you guys discuss?
Political things that we were having questions about. I asked her about the Women's March that had happened a few weeks after the incident. What was it about? What did she speak about? Things that we wanted to hear the other side about.
Do you ever discuss Charlottesville?
I think it might have been brought up once or twice. It was just kind of shocked at that, it could escalate so much more past that.
You certainly have a respect for each other. Have you learned anything from each other?
Thinking back on it, we did talk a lot about a lot of issues. And by talking with Joseph and people that don't agree with me, I'm always forced to consider things that I hadn't considered before. And that kind of makes certain topics more complicated than what they appear to be at first.
Give me an example.
Maybe the legalization of marijuana, which I know that Joseph supports. And I'm kind of like iffy on it.
And Joseph, have you learned anything from Amina that has kind of made you empathize more with where she's coming from?
My stance on Muslim and immigrants has definitely shifted a great deal, and my stance on pro-choice has shifted since meeting Amina.
What have you learned from her that made you rethink your position?
Not all Muslims are bad. That was kind of a big one to learn after meeting Amina. You always think about pro-choice from the mother's perspective, but since talking to Amina, I've also learned to look at it from the child's perspective, and I've changed my stance on being pro-life to pro-choice.
Amina, do you think you're a hero for what you did? You kind of saved Joe from getting really badly hurt, maybe killed, who knows what?
No.
No?
And I don't think of myself as that at all.
And Joe, even though you've kind of shifted because Trump is pro-life, not pro-choice, are you still a Trump supporter?
I am still a Trump supporter, yes.
Okay. What do you have to say to people, because this is everybody? People stop talking to family members. People stop talking to friends. Friendships have broken up. People have said, I can't talk politics with this person anymore. What do you say to people about ending their friendships, ending their relationships with their family, not being able to speak about politics with each other because it's so divisive?
I think when people say that I can't talk to so-and-so person because of their views, or, they cut people out of their life because of their political views, I feel like it's treating a sickness with drinking poison. It's not the solution, and it makes things worse. So if you're not able to talk to someone that disagrees with you, that says more about you as a person than it does about the person that you're refusing to talk to. That you're not willing to even entertain the possibility that you might be wrong, and you're not willing to compromise or at least communicate so that, you have a better understanding of a certain situation or topic or a political figure.
And Joe, what do you think on this subject?
Just to add to that, it's not just that you can't think that you might be wrong, it's that you can't even entertain the idea that that person might have something to add, or it's even worse than that, because narcissism aside, devaluing that person's opinion to the point where everything they say is just evil.
Have you guys thought about starting a group to bring people from different points of view together?
I've thought about it. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Maybe start a Discord or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we have the reach for something like that, but I do know that StoryCorps has a program that they're doing right now, that One Small Step, I think it's called, where they pair people up that have differing political viewpoints for them to have conversations.
Right.
So that's something that's very admirable for me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great story, the two of you. I wish we were able to emulate this more. It would be a much more pleasant country we live in. Our show is about immigrants and minorities and helping people to achieve their dreams. We have this nebulous idea of the American dream, and the American dream means something different to everybody. I'll start with you, Joe, first. Tell me what your American dreams are.
My personal dreams are just to be content, really. I mean, not to worry about living paycheck to paycheck, and that's what I'm, striving for currently.
And Amina?
Similar things, I would say. Just being content with life and able to make a living for myself in a way that allows me to help my friends and family and support my parents in their old age when they grow up, and to kind of use the resources that have been at my disposal for being an American to help other people in a wider context.
Well, in this age of divisiveness, your guys' story is really great. I'm sorry that Joe and you, Amina, had to put yourself in danger. But sometimes you're put in these situations, you have lemons and you make lemonade out of it, and you certainly made lemonade out of this. Wonderful story, a wonderful friendship the two of you had. I'm glad that you both have a better understanding of each other. I hope more people would be like you, be a much more pleasant country we live in. Thank you both for coming on. Amina Emdeen, Joseph Weidnecht, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for me so much.
I like that story, Amina and Joseph.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so we're late into our show. I have a quick comment. Tomorrow, we will not be on the air. I'm actually going. My sister is a big executive here in Manhattan at a hospital, and she's getting an award for Executive of the Year. So she asked that I come and support her, and the awards start right in the middle of this. So I said, okay, I'll come. So tomorrow, so congratulations, Stacy. I will not be here. Friday, we'll be back live.
Awesome.
All right?
Yes.
So, comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Catherine Sa saying, "Go Amina! You proved him and Trump supporters wrong. Muslims and immigrants are not all bad criminal people."
That's right.
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Absolutely. She was definitely the hero in that story.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Yes.
She definitely. But I will say, in a way, Joseph was too, because he was able to learn what Catherine just said.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
takes
true.
sometimes it takes a hero to takes a strong person to change their mind.
Yeah. And
You know,
to
it's very,
admit
it's
it.
very, and
That's-
to admit it, it's very easy to just dig your heels in the sand or dig your toes in the sand. It's much harder to be open-minded. So in a way, Joseph is a hero as well.
It's true.
Yes.
It's.
In a lot of ways.
I feel my question is, you know, he's still a Trump supporter, so I can't wrap my brain around how you excuse.
I respect him more
I
for that
do-
though, because you know, like, we think that all Trump supporters are racist and they probably don't like immigrants, but the fact that he's showing that he does like immigrants and he's still a Trump supporter because he does believe in whatever
In
Trump
the
has.
conservative,
Yeah,
in
he's
whatever
not
that
fake
is.
with it.
That's fair.
But he said, I didn't know a Muslim person before Amina. So all I saw was what I saw on TV.
Exactly.
They're bad people. They're
Exactly.
terrorists. And so it's, and I say this all the time on my show, on our show, excuse me, because this is our show. And I say this all the time. Everybody who is anti-immigrant, everybody who says, I don't like this minority, simply because they don't have interactions with them.
Yeah.
Okay? And every person who is anti-immigrant, who says, kick everybody out, except my friend Joe from Jamaica.
Right.
He's a nice guy.
Right.
Or my friend
You get that a
Sally.
lot.
Right. So here's a situation where there's more interaction, and you actually get to see where humans, we have, I say this all the time, 10 fingers, a nose, mouth, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a brain, a
Yes.
heart. We're very similar.
Absolutely. Princess Black said, I'll tell ya, this show is the greatest show ever. You learn a lot of important things.
That is very true, Princess
That's
Black.
right, Princess.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
Tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
This show is like a tree that falls in the forest. You don't hear it. Nobody knows about it. That's why we tell people, please tell people.
This is true. All right, our third comment of the day goes to Asghar Khan saying, "Never in my life have I laughed in this entire year. This much I laughed." Sorry.
Oh my God. Who said
Never
this?
laughed in the entire
Asghar
year
Khan.
this much. I laughed today.
Wow.
Well done, guys.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
And we worked on our comedy all day today.
I'll tell you.
All of our jokes.
Right. From this Groundhog Sam skit all the way through.
Right.
There we go.
There's a lot of comedy going on today.
Pauline Williams said, Brad, they're cardiologists, they're pulmonologists. You, sir, are definitely an immigrationologist, an immigration specialist, if you will. Thanks for your service to the entire immigrant population.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nice. And we have one from Rodrigo Silva saying, "Show is on. Time to feel like a human as an immigrant in the U.S.
All right, that's what we like to do.
I like
That's
that.
what we like to do.
That's it.
That's it.
all we got.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
Well, do you want to continue with the show, or do we have to say goodbye?
We're going to say goodbye.
We're gonna say goodbye.
There it is. Producer Yo-Yo says goodbye. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you Friday at 5:30. Take care. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.